Salvia. What is it? The big question, what are the effects? Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at you. Special shout out to our producer patrons, Nick Kyle Properties, Stephen Carroll Shuckrup, Brittany Swift, Preem Jam Properties, and all the patrons. You guys are keeping Soberdogs alive. Thank you. Anyone wants to become a patron, check the link in the description. Before I get into it, remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. These videos are for educational, entertainment, and informative purposes only. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. All right, Salvia. What is it? And the big questions, what are the effects, and can people OD from it? So what is Salvia? Salvia Divinorum is a herb in the mint family that is found in southern Mexico. The main active ingredient in Salvia is salvinorin A. That's what gives people the effect, the psychoactive properties. Salvia's native habitat is the cloud forests of the Sierra Mazateca of Oaxaca, Mexico. I'm trying to say that properly. Sierra Mazateca of Oaxaca, Mexico. I think it looks like Oaxaca, but I think it's Oaxaca. So I'm trying to get that somewhat proper. That's where it's found. That's where it grows in those forests. It likes cloudy, moist locations, and the plant can grow over 1 meter high. The shamans in this area, the Mazateca shamans, they have used salvia for centuries in religious ceremonies, spiritual awakenings. How they use it, typically tea, or they'll chew on the leaves, different things like that. They also have used psilocybin in a lot of these ceremonies and still continue to. If you want to know more about psilocybin, check out the video I put up all about shrooms, what they are, what they're like, my experience with them. I'll put a card up for that. What does salvia look like? When it's growing, it looks like that. That's a plant, it can grow up to and over 1 meter high, and it has a lot of times these flowers on it, purple flowers, red flowers, even white flowers. You know, a lot of times people would just take those leaves and chew them, ingest them, consume them, whatever. But when it's dried and used that way, which is typically how it's sold like in the US, is it looks like that. It's just a real dried, green, leafy thing, like real cheap brickweed, so to speak. It's just, you know, like parsley almost. Some of the other street names for salvia, you know, S. divinorum is the actual name for it. Some of the other names, sage of the diviners, Sally D, magic mint, shepherdess herb, leaves of Mary, the female, sage of the seers, lady salvia, sister salvia, and purple sticky in reference to the purple plants that grow on it. Some of the Spanish names for it, Maria Pastora, Yerba de la Pastora, and Hojas de Maria. I don't know if I pronounced it, maybe it's Hojas de Maria. So the forms it comes in and how it's used, like I said earlier, a lot of the shamans use it. They'll crush the leaves to get the juices, the extract out of it. They could either take the extract as is, or they'll mix it with teas and other liquids and make a drink out of it. Tincture, what they use, alcohol or ethanol to get the extract and the juices out in some cases, and then they could drink that, they could dry it, there's many things. Or smoking. Smoking's a common method. They'll dry the leaves and smoke it, or to make it more potent, typically what they do is they'll get extract out and then actually put that on other dried leaves of salvia to make it more potent, because just smoking a straight salvia leaf apparently is not that potent. The salvia they're buying is dried salvia leaves, but there's usually other salvia extract on top of that to make it potent enough for like people to get an effect from like 1 or 2 or 3 hits. Smoking was the method I used every time I've tried it, and I'll get all into that and explain to you the effects I had with salvia in the next video. Also, chewing the leaves, apparently ingesting them, the stomach acids aren't the best way, so when people chew them, they try to chew it and keep it in their mouth as long as they can so their mucous membranes can absorb all the extract. And legal status of salvia. And before I jump into it, if you get value from Soberdogs content, hit that subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Share the videos, hit that like. Yeah. So the legal status, there was a big case in Delaware a while back. It was a teenager who was smoking salvia. His parents caught him. A couple months later, he told his parents he was off it, but he wasn't, allegedly, and he ended up committing suicide. The parents firmly believed that it was caused by the effects of salvia and the depression from going the highs and then off it. So they have pushed big time in Delaware for what's called Brett's Law to ban salvia, make it a controlled substance. That's one case. There's really no other major cases about it. As of 2015, here's where salvia is illegal. Australia, Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Hong Kong, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Portugal, Republic of Ireland, Romania, South Korea, Sweden, and Switzerland. It's legal to possess and grow in Chile, France, and Spain, but not to sell. In Russia, you could possess it, but not grow or sell it. And Estonia, Finland, Iceland, and Norway, it's treated as a medical herb. You need a prescription. So in the US, there's a lot of states that have created their own legislation, but federally it's still not banned. Delaware banned it after that case, Brett's case. Alabama, Delaware, Illinois, Louisiana, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio, Texas, and a couple other states have passed their own laws banning it. Several other states, New York, where I am included, are trying to, but it has not passed yet. One of the main reasons that they're having trouble passing it federally is there's really no cases damaged besides Brett's case. When they propose a ban and other people are like, okay, show us your evidence, they have nothing but that one case. How salvia works in the brain. The main ingredient in salvia, that salvinorin A that causes the psychoactive effects, it is not well researched. They don't know a ton, but it is believed to affect the signaling process between neurons in the brain. You know, neurons send signals, and it is believed to affect that, and that's what causes the hallucination, the psychoactive effects. Salvinorin A attaches to the kappa opioid receptors. Now, these receptors are different from the ones involved in other opioids like heroin and morphine. So salvia is not an opioid, and the effects are different than the opioid effects of like heroin, morphine, those type of substances. What are the physical and mental effects of salvia? Mood swings, sweating, loss of contact with the body, out-of-body experiences, talkativeness, merging with or becoming a part of other objects, recollection of old memories, sensations of motion, being pulled, pushed, twisted, feelings of detachment or disconnection from reality or from oneself, cartoon-like imagery, visual, audio hallucinations, distortions, vivid colors, unusual shapes, patterns. All these can come with salvia, basically all the hallucinogenic type properties, type effects, so to speak. So the effects from salvia, when it is smoked, they typically peak 2 to 3 minutes after smoking it, and they last less than 20 minutes. When it is chewed, they typically peak between 10 and 15 minutes and last, up to an hour. When it is ingested, they typically start 15, 20 minutes in, peak 25, 30 minutes, and can last up to an hour and a half. Big question, can you die or OD from salvia? The best answer, we don't know, but there is not really any documented cases or evidence that you can. That's also, back to what we were saying, one of the reasons why they can't really get it banned is minus that Brett's Law case in Delaware, there's no other cases that they're going on. So now, granted, there's not great research on it. It hasn't been studied well, so we just don't know. There's no cases of it. Next video, I'm going to tell you about my experiences smoking salvia. Whoa! I'm going to get into all of it. Thank you, everybody. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, and I'm out. See ya!